Octagon News.
So, Barboza has accepted Khabib's challenge. I don't know that makes it official. I don't know that contracts were sent out, but, I mean, this could be a social media thing between the two of them, but that's as good of a way to make a fight as anything else, in my opinion. Khabib does need a dance partner. Barboza needs a partner. They're the same weight class. They're both badasses. Boom, let's do it.
But we were just talking about this last show. Wasn't a smart move for Khabib to call out either Conor or Ferguson?
Yes, and he did that, and I got no problem with it. I can't hide from the reality of a couple of things. Look, I'm a Khabib mark like everybody else. The sumbitch is 23-0. I'm not denying him in the least. He ragdolled RDA, which means something. I'm not in the least. The guy doesn't fight but once a year. He hasn't fought but twice in the last 3 years, and possibly 4. The way time's going, I'd have to actually look, it's been so damn long, and he misses weight constantly. So to act as though he's the guy that you go rely on, first off, if he's not going to make weight, we got a huge problem if you're putting him in a title fight. Secondly, for multiple reasons. One, now the title's no longer on the line. If you're doing television and the politics behind it, and you're thinking that you got a potential of a 25-minute window and it just got shortened to a maximum of 15-minute window, you got problems. Secondly, when a guy is hurt as much as he is or distracted as much as he is or whatever the hell has kept him out of the octagon, why would you put him in a championship fight? Now he's going to win the belt and he's going to become on the guy on the marquee, and you don't know when the hell he's going to show up? I mean, you've got some real problems there. And don't act like, well, yeah, you do, but, at the end of the day, it's worth it. I got to make these concessions for a big star like this. He's not. He's not any of those things. We're not in Russia yet where he's going to be a big draw. There's a lot of people like me that are into Khabib, that do like watching Khabib fight, but we're hardcore fans. There's not a little old lady sitting in Iowa going, hey, where's that Nurmagomedov at? I can't wait till he fights again so I can buy that show. That's just not a reality. So when you have a guy like this that doesn't have this huge upside, that is likely to come in and wreck shop and win and take out one of your big stars, you go ahead and give him that opportunity, as long as you know as the promoter, he can take the torch and run with it. If you're a promoter and you look at it and go, hey, this guy's got a very good chance of winning, but he's not going to run with this damn thing, you keep him out of there. So there's politics against him. That's where I would support the Barboza fight. Let's get him in there. It's very hard work. It's a very hard night. If he wins, it's going to be very meaningful. But it's another opportunity for him to come in, go through the process, and make weight.
But for that little old lady in Iowa, they're looking at the numbers of wins and losses. He hasn't got a single loss. All you see is that big fat O.
Yeah, that's a fair point by you.
That's the only thing a lot of these people are looking at. They're like, hey, they've got this guy over here, and they've got Ferguson. Maybe McGregor comes back. But then there's another thing that maybe he goes and fights another boxing match right now. So that's another additive in this whole lightweight mess going on.
Just spilt this damn coffee on my chin down to my shirt again.
When are you going to fix that? Put your lip.
It's a lid issue. I guess, you know how I can solve this? I can just take the damn lid off. There, how do you like that?
There.
No more crack.
We're solving problems.
So, there's guys like this, though. A friend of the show, Anthony Smith, had him on a couple of weeks ago. You can't nobody wants anything to do with this guy. I mean, he just, Vitor Belfort was just offered the fight. Vitor refused him. Now, for me, Vitor's a rough son of a bitch. Go in there and get in there with whoever you can. He does have a more established name, so he's playing that little game a little bit. And at this point in his career, yeah, that's probably a pretty rough night out. But at the end of the day, Vitor, that's the way it goes, man. You got your come up off of somebody. This is how the sport has to work, and nothing trumps the sport. Your own career cannot trump the sport. And I don't like it when guys do that. We tried to get Anthony Smith out here to Portland. He's still on officially to come out for Submission Underground in December. He's still on. We can't get anyone to take him on. And it's like, hey, not for nothing, guys, but this guy's not Joe Jiu-Jitsu. He's putting everything on the line, chalking it up to a good workout and having a little bit of fun. This is an opportunity for you to slide in your world and get a win over a hammer. He's putting himself out there, and no one will do it. I mean, everybody's so scared of this guy. And I'm just confused, and it's his willingness is what's intimidating everybody. If you'll think back, Jacob, to the dude in school you never messed with. It maybe wasn't a guy who was the strongest or the biggest or you'd seen him whip somebody's ass, but it was a guy that you knew, without question, will step to the challenge. And it's like, that's enough for me to just turn and walk the other way. Anthony Smith is one of those guys. Any challenge, anybody, any weight, any set of rules. And that is scaring the hell out of people. I tell you this as the promoter of the submission underground. We can't get anyone to take this guy on. Anyone. I could throw some names at you right now and you go, oh my God, they didn't want. It's everything to gain. You could go out there in a set of rules that he's never done in a sport that isn't what he does and go grab a little bit of thunder. But his willingness is very scary to guys.
Well, at that same time, and maybe I don't see where. When I think I'm tying this back a little bit to Khabib, Khabib doesn't sound scary. He just has a big fat O on the back of his record. That's the only thing. And you're mentioning maybe he doesn't make weight. He doesn't look like he wants to. Then you have on the other side Anthony Smith, who has the opposite problem. He can't get a fight because everyone's so dang scared of him.
Sure.
Where's the balance there? Because I can see some people on either side. I can see fighters. Yeah, there's that intimidation factor. But yeah, you mentioned there's everything to gain. If you lose, it's like, well, yeah, heck, you lost to this guy that everyone expected you to lose to. What gives? But if you beat him, there's that chance you're just like, hey, I took down Anthony Smith, and no one won't even question which sport he was in. And then on the other side, you've got Khabib. Why not go fight him, even if he does look like a slob? If you took him out, then you put that one on his record.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I think maybe you're missing my point. The one taking the risk here is Anthony Smith. Everybody else is the ones handed the opportunity to come in, grab a guy, catch him off guard in an event with a rule and a skill set that he's never done. He's the one that's got the name out there. He's the one that's fighting on television. He's the one that's climbing up the rankings. He's the one that should be saying no. The crazy bastard said yes. So now it's an opportunity for somebody else. And they still won't do it. His willingness is what's making everybody go, I'm out. He must know something I don't. I didn't know he was great at jiu-jitsu, but if he's willing to take me on, he must secretly be, and I'm out. That's a weird thing. Khabib, I would disagree with you only in this one. I do think Khabib's scary, just because he's very mean, and he has a skill set, and he's kind of like Damian Maia. He only does one thing, but God damn it, does he do it well. But Khabib does have a couple of strikes against him. If you're a promoter and you've got to be a chess player because you've got 20 dates already booked with 20 different arenas, and you've got to be able to move guys, particularly if they're a champion around, he's got some politics against him. He's not a guy that can try. Here, I'll tie it back into Vitor backing down from Anthony. I would solve this problem. I would like to solve this problem by cutting guys. Oh, you're not. I have a contract with you. You owe me 3 fights. I'm the matchmaker. I'm the promoter. I am the decider of who you will fight and win. I have that right because I'm writing the checks. So it is my call. It's my business. It's my call. Well, when you get a guy like Vitor who says no, you do have the other side of the balance, which is, like it or not, Vitor Belfort draws. And he's going to draw for a while, regardless of outcome. And there's very few guys that ever get to a point in their career where, regardless of outcome, they can sell out an arena. He's one of those guys. I'll just tell you, as a Vitor fan and a fan of the sport, I'm watching him, no matter what. So now all of a sudden he does have some power. And it's like, yeah, you do, but in my opinion, it's unethical to wield that power if you're not the one writing the checks. You have to have this code of honor. If the other guy's writing the checks, you do it his way, but it doesn't work that way. So Anthony doesn't have that fight. Boom. What can you do? I mean, you are in show business. You do need guys that can move the needle. Vitor moves the needle.
Yeah, but dang it.
But I mean, you see the problem there. Like, I would love to solve it like Dana used to do in the old-fashioned day. You're done. You're out. It's as simple as that. My way or the highway.
I'll find someone who will fight.
I'll find someone who will hang up the phone and move on with my day.
Well, couldn't you already do that right now? Because if Vitor won't, you've got to find someone. There's got to be at least maybe you took like some new guy who maybe isn't the draw or the the name recognition threat like Anthony Smith is, who's willing to, but maybe you find someone else who's no one's ever heard of, but at least is willing to, and you put them together. Maybe it's not a big moneymaker anymore, but at least there's a fight going on.
No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, that is where the matchmaking balance comes in. I just look at guys like Sean Shelby that have that job, or what Joe Silva used to have. It's the worst job in MMA. It is the number one job that I personally wouldn't like to have, and I kind of like all sides of the sport. I don't really see any bad office to have. I hate that job.
Octagon News.